Open your book to page 411. Today's lesson is how to simplify complex fractions. Complex fraction means you have a fraction over a fraction. So example of that would be if you have like 1 over x plus 3 over y. This is called a simple fraction. But when you have fraction over another fraction, this is called a complex fraction. So again, this is a simple fraction. This is complex fraction. And so this is the main fraction bar, and these are your primary fractions. And the fraction inside fraction, this is called your secondary fraction. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over how to simplify the fractions. So there are two kinds. So let's go to page 412. So let's start with example 1. You have 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4 over 5 over 6 minus 2 over 3. Now, since they are numbers, you can use your calculator and you can work it out, right? But the concept is this, okay? Whether it's number or whether it's variable, the easy way to do this is by multiply every term by the common denominator. So you got 2, 4, 6, 3. Okay? Your common denominator would be 12. If you don't remember that, you do this, right? So you got 2, 4, 6, 3. Okay? Now, when you're doing the LCM, as long as two numbers can divide, you can go and do it. Okay? So you can divide by 2, so it'd be 1, 2, 3. Now, if you cannot divide, you just leave it alone. Right? Again, we covered this before, right? So now this two number can divide by 3, so you can go and divide. Again, as long as two number can divide, you can do that for LCM. Okay? So it'd be 1, 2, 1, 1, and that's it. So your LCM or LCD, in this case, is all this together, so it'd be 12. That's how I get 12. So what you want to do is multiply everything by 12. So multiply by 12, and again, put on each term so you can keep track. Okay, so you get your fraction ready. So now you can go and cancel each term. So 2 and 12, you get 6, right? So write it down right away so you don't forget. So again, once you finish, write it down right away. This one over here, you cancel, get 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Again, write it down right away as you go. Cancel, so you can 10. Cancel, so it'd be minus 8. So now you have a simple fraction. Then you can go and just simplify. So you got 15 over 2. And that's it. Okay. So again, when you have this type, you can multiply by common denominator. Now let's go to example 2. You have 4b squared over 9a squared over. So notice this line is a little bit bigger or longer or a little bit thicker. So that's your main fraction bar. Now, this means division. So this means you have the top fraction divided by the bottom fraction. So this is what it means. Okay, so again, this means this, right? Again, this long division bar means this. And then you have to flip it over. So you got 4b squared over 9a squared times it by 3a cubed over ab. Okay, so that's what this means. Okay, now instead of doing this all the time, okay, notice you can go straight from here to here. If you remember the outer over inner, the outside goes on the top. See, the outside goes on the top. The inside goes on the bottom. That way you don't have to do this step if you memorize it. If you don't remember that, then you have to do this and flip it over afterward. So either way. So then after you do that, then you can go and start to cancel things out. So 4 and 8 cancel out, you get 2. B and b squared cancel, you get b. 3 and 9 cancel, you get 3. A squared, a cubed, you get a. So your final answer would be ab over 6. Okay, and that's your answer. So two types. The one with addition subtraction multiplied by common denominator. The one without any addition subtraction you use outside over inside. Okay, and let's do that. Now this way you also if you have used this common denominator, this works also for that, but it's too complicated. It's faster if you just outer over inner. But this method will work on this one also. Okay. Okay, so let's go and do a couple more examples. Let's go to example 3. So you got 2 over x minus 3 over x squared over, now notice it's 5, right? So what you want to do is put a 5 over 1. Okay, make everything into fraction. So in this case, your LCD is x squared. So multiply by x squared. Again, don't get lazy. Write down 4 times. It doesn't take that long. Take you like a few seconds. The reason you want to write it out so it helps you to avoid mistakes. Okay, so get the fraction ready. So again, the reason you write out each time so you can cancel out. So you can see what's left over. So x and x cancel out, you get 2x, right? Again, as soon as you cancel, write it down. So you don't have to go back, because when you go back, you might miss something, you might make a mistake. Okay? So x squared cancel out with x squared, so you get 3. This one has nothing to cancel, so you get 5x squared. This one you cancel, you get x. And you always want to kind of factor, see if you can cancel things out. So you got 2x minus 3, cannot cancel. Well, actually, if you cannot cancel, you don't even have to worry about it. Okay? If you cannot cancel, then, if you cannot factor, then you cannot cancel. So just leave it. Even the bottom can factor, but it's okay, because you cannot cancel, right? So you always want to check. Okay? If you can factor to cancel, then you need to do that. Okay, let's go to example 4. So again, you have 1, right? So write 1 over 1, make everything into fraction. So 1 over 1 minus a over a squared, 4 over a squared. So every problem is the same thing, right? This kind, you multiply by common denominator. So common denominator is a squared. Again, algebra is all about techniques. Learn the technique, apply it. No matter what the problem is, just apply the proper technique, then you'll be fine. So if you don't know the technique, then you're going to be in trouble. So this one has nothing to cancel, so it'd be a squared. This one, the a cancel with a squared, you get a, so become plus 2a. Over here, nothing to cancel, so it'd be a squared minus, this one cancel out, you get 4. So now you have to do factoring. So step 1, common factor, factor out the a, so you get a plus 2. On the bottom, that's your step 2a, so that's your conjugate, right? So a plus 2, a minus 2. So factor everything, and these are the same, so you can cancel out. So your answer would be a over a minus 2. Now, cannot cancel out the a, right? This is the alphabet, this is a group. So they are not the same, so do not cancel out the a's. Okay, so these are terms, so cannot cancel out. Okay, example 5. Again, if you notice, every problem is the same technique over and over and over again. So you got 2 over x plus 3 plus 1 over x. Now make sure you give yourself enough room, okay? Make sure you give yourself enough room to write the LCDs. So LCD is x plus 3 and x. So write it down. Again, the reason I write it down, so it takes you a couple seconds, but it will help you avoid a lot of mistakes. So give yourself enough room to write all these things down. So this cancel with that, so you get 2x. Again, write it down right away. Don't cancel, then try to write. Okay, because it's easy to make a mistake that way. When you cancel, it's still fresh on your mind, you write it down right away. This cancel with that, so it'd be plus x plus 3. This cancel with that, right away you get 3x. Minus, this cancel with that, so when you multiply, you have to be careful now, that's a minus 2. So you have to use minus 2 times x, will give you minus 2x. Minus 2 times 3 will give you minus 6. So you have to treat this as one term, okay? So negative 2 times x, I get negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3, get negative 6. So that's going to simplify a little bit. So I get 3x plus 3 on the top. on the bottom, I get x minus 6. But this one is factorable, but you cannot cancel, right? If you factor, cannot cancel. So either answer is fine. Okay, if you box that, that's fine. If you box this, that's fine. Either one is fine. Okay. So let's go and do some practice.